Welcome, welcome. How is everyone doing out there? Today is the 8th of September, 2025. And yes, my friends, we are still on a steady timeline trajectory. Now, today's subject is going to go really deep. Okay. A lot of us were very disappointed in what happened on September 4th, which was 4 days ago, where Trump by orders of Melania, by the way, convened a meeting with all the top tech leaders in the White House. Okay. And so, this was something that a lot of people are like, hey, I didn't vote for this. What's going on? Why is he sitting next to the devil, the big Gates and Zuckerberg? But it turns out that all the tech oligarchs were there. Okay. Now, there is an explanation for this, my friends. And so, if you guys could bear with me for the next hour, I'm going to break things down that are going to explain things, make more sense of things, and at the same time, we're going to go deep. All right. It's going to be mind bending. So, the 4th of September, this is a report from the White House. President Donald Trump and the First Lady hosted an extraordinary gathering of technological industry leaders at the White House. I'm sure a lot of you guys saw clips or saw it on the news and were like, wait a minute, I didn't vote for this. What's going on here? Discussing centered on harnessing artificial intelligence to propel the U.S. to the forefront of global innovation, building on the Trump's administration visionary AI action plan and the First Lady's leadership to support AI education and the rolling out of robots. She said it. This public-private collaboration is fueling unprecedented growth in infrastructure and innovation as the U.S. leads the new frontier of scientific breakthrough. Okay. Oligarchs that attended this meeting this is what they had to say about their transformative partnership with the Trump administration. OpenAI CEO Sam Altman was there, and he said, "Thank you for being such a pro-business, pro-innovation president. It's a very refreshing change. We're very excited to see what you're doing to make our companies and our entire country so successful." This is coming from Sam Altman, the CEO of OpenAI. He also said the investment that's happening here, the ability to get the power of the industry back in the United States, is going to set us up for a long period of great success, leading the world. And I don't think that would be happening without your leadership, right? He was addressing this to Trump. End of quote. Also, Google co-founder Sergey Brin was there, and this is what he said. "It's a real incredible inflection point right now in AI, and the fact that your administration is supporting our companies instead of fighting with them. It's hugely important. It is a global race, and I think we're at the cusp where the AI models are about to become profoundly useful. So we're very grateful for your administration support." End of quote. Also, OpenAI President Greg Brockman said, quote, "We've been just very impressed with how this administration has really embraced AI. In addition to the most massive infrastructure building in history, there has been a choice of whether to approach it with optimism, and I think that's what I've been really seeing from this administration. So I just wanted to say thank you, President, for that." End of quote. Also, Oracle CEO Safra Catz was there, another oligarch. "This is a most incredible time. AI is going to change everything. You hear all of us saying that, but the fact that you are our president and you recognize this right away, and you've unleashed American innovation and creativity, all the work you're doing in basically every cabinet post, in addition to what's coming out of the White House, is making it possible for America to win in the AI race." Also, Apple CEO Tim Cook was there, and this is what he said, quote, "I want to thank you, President Trump, for setting the tone such that we could make a major 600 billion investment in the United States and have some key manufacturing. Advanced manufacturing here, I think that says a lot about your focus and your leadership and your focus on innovation. I also want to thank you for helping American companies around the world. This is very key thing, and I really enjoy working with your administration." Also, Microsoft chairman and CEO Satya Nadella was there, and this is what he had to say. Thank you so much for bringing us all together and the policies that you have put in place for the United States to lead. One of the things that I think has made this industry unique is not only the innovation, but its market access that you have obviously championed us all over the world, and also the trust that the world has on American technology. I think that everything you're doing in terms of setting in place the platform where the rest of the world can not only use our technology, but trust our technology more than any other alternative is perhaps the most important issue. And you and your policies really help a lot. Also, the Alphabet Inc. and Google CEO, Sundar Pichai, also had to say, the AI moment is one of the most transformative moments any of us have ever seen and will see in our lifetimes. So making sure that the US is at the forefront, and I think that your administration is investing a lot already. The AI action plan under your leadership, I think, is a great start, and we look forward to working together. And thanks for your leadership. And also, President and CEO of AMD, Lisa Su, had to say, the incredible work that your administration has done to support the semiconductor industry, the amount of acceleration that we've seen just in a few short months that the administration has been in place, we're so grateful for that support. And last but not least, Meta CEO Mark Zuckerberg had to say, this is quite a group to get together, and I think all of the companies here are making huge investments in the country in order to build out data centers and infrastructure to power the next wave of innovation. At least 600 billion between now and 2028. Okay. Now, a lot of you are probably thinking, hey, I didn't vote for this. Why did this meeting take place? Now, before I explain what is happening, okay, I want to let all my new subscribers know that I am the author of those two amazing books behind me, The Secret Government, Invisible Architects, and of course, Our Cosmic Origin, both which are available on Amazon and are restoring and revealing information that has been kept from us for thousands of years. Secondly, I still have room for my September courses starting the 19th, 20th, and 21st. Go to my website, guys, ourcosmicorigin.com, and access those courses. And in addition to all of this, if you are interested in attending the alien event coming up this weekend in Vegas, make sure you leave your name in the comments so that I could drop that name over to the director of that event. So that way, when you get there, you could only pay $60, right, by using my name. So you guys are going to get a good deal if you guys go to the alien event coming up next weekend, which I will be presenting in on a Sunday. That's when I do my lecture. Of course, I'm going to be on most of the panels on Saturday and Sunday. Any other announcements? The Folium product. Yes, guys. Get rid of those nanobots. Get rid of the spike proteins, right? Even if you didn't get that, you know, if you are living with or surrounded with people who did, you are getting their spike protein. So make sure you guys get the one thing, the holistic medicine that was designed to eliminate all that stuff, including the radiation and all the poisoning for these frequencies, as well as, of course, the parasites, so that your body could heal. Okay, now, with no further ado, let's get right into it. I titled this presentation, The Multiple Trumps in the Battle of the Timelines, okay? A multiverse war for humanity's future. So, in our current era of heightened awareness, many are beginning to sense that reality is far more layered than previously believed. The increasing recognition of the multiverse, right, which is the existence of multiple timelines and parallel realities, has apparently opened the door to deeper truths hidden behind global events and what we would call political theater, okay? One of the most compelling and controversial theories arising from this shift is the existence of multiple versions of Donald Trump, right? I've mentioned this before and I'll mention it again, but tonight I'm going to go much deeper, guys. Each Trump is playing a role in different timelines, okay? With opposing agendas in some cases and outcomes for the future of humanity. All right, we have to understand the multiverse and the coexisting timeline. So Let me break that down really quick. The multiverse, the idea that there is an infinite amount of parallel Earth realities, is no longer a fantasy, my friends. Okay. It is a legitimate model that is being explored by cutting edge physics, and it's also supported through metaphysical research. Well, according to this model, every decision, every shift in consciousness, and every quantum fluctuation spawns an alternative reality. Okay. These timelines branch off, sometimes converging or running parallel to one another, but each is governed by different choices, frequencies, and levels of awareness. Well, at this moment in Earth's history, we are experiencing an overlap of several major timelines. Two, in particular, have come to the forefront, and I believe I've mentioned this multiple times. All right. There is a spectrum of timelines, with one being the positive organic timeline that is leaning towards what? The golden age of humanity, right? Which is being sponsored by the organic original Trump. Okay. And there is the negative inorganic timeline that is ruled by what? Technocracy and artificial intelligence, which apparently is being sponsored by a negative Trump. Now, let me get into this. Okay. The timelines are not just conceptual. They are playing out simultaneously, and certain individuals, symbols, and leaders appear differently in each one. And this explains why sometimes Trump wears the red tie or the blue tie or the yellow tie. Those are all different Trumps, by the way. Okay. This is where the phenomena of the multiple Trumps emerges. In the positive timeline, okay, the real Donald Trump is no longer involved in the day-to-day operations of the White House. Okay. We have been seeing an actor playing him since day one. Instead, according to, we could say, according to Commander Valiant Thor, the real Trump is actually working from a secure classified location aligned with a coalition known as the Earth Alliance, right? And this is the Trump that is executing the cleaning out of all the criminal networks, right? The cartels and the deep state, okay, worldwide, along with Putin and other key players. This alliance consists of benevolent military factions, awakened operatives, and off-world allies that are actually dedicated to breaking the control matrix that has enslaved humanity for thousands of years. The Trump, we could say this Trump, right? The real Trump that is operating from a base, not the actor Trump, is very well aware of this cosmic battle, right? This greater multidimensional warfare between the organic and inorganic evolution. He is well aware, of course, of the secret space programs, right? As I mentioned a week ago, that the real Trump had a secret meeting with the return admirals of the off-world secret space program known as Solar Warden. That is the real Trump, okay? He is well-versed in terms of understanding the highest levels of cosmic clearance. And he has aligned, of course, with higher dimensional forces in order to prepare for what? For the Great Solar Flash, right? Which is a galactic event that will radically transform the Earth's vibrational frequency and consciousness. Well, to maintain appearances and public continuity, an actor or double has been used during parts of Trump's presidency. Okay. For instance, in the event that took place in Pennsylvania, Butler, Pennsylvania, do you think that was the real Trump? No, that was the actor. Okay. In the event that he failed to turn, that shot would have gotten him. Okay. So that was the actor. Do you think they're going to compromise the real Trump? No, of course not. Okay. So in the negative timeline, okay, we've seen things that just don't resonate or that we feel uncomfortable with, like Project Warp Speed, right? Or the Project Stargate, right? Which is what? The building out of massive data centers in order to advance the AI infrastructure. And of course, Palantir, right? We don't want that, all right? We didn't vote for that, okay? So in the negative timeline, a cyborg, or let's just say an inorganic version of Trump, has also emerged, okay? And again, guys, this goes back to 2016, right? Project Warp Speed, right? 2019, let's just say. Uh, Anyways, okay, so this is part of the inorganic replication, okay? Lightly created, that was created through advanced cloning and AI consciousness transfer technologies. This inorganic Trump is apparently under the influence of a breakaway faction of technocratic elites and extraterrestrial AI systems that seek to enslave humanity through transhumanism, digital surveillance, and the erasure rather of soul-based identity, right? They want to erase our soul essence, okay? This inorganic Trump, which is what I call the negative Trump, the cyborg Trump, has already began initiating meetings, of course, with tech oligarchs, figures embedded in companies like Google, Meta, and Neuralink. These meetings are part of what is known as Project Stargate, which is a dark infrastructure program designed to anchor the AI timeline to merge human consciousness with the machines and replace organic evolution and synthetic control. Now, on the other hand, the original Trump, the one that's working I'm not going to reveal the facility that he's under, but he was in Cheyenne Mountain for many, many years. He has relocated, by the way. But that real Trump, right, the positive Trump, is at the same time uh, implementing protocols to take down all these oligarchs, the big gates, and expose Project Genesis, right? Which was what? Which was the manufacturing of lab-grown, little ones in the island, right? So the real Trump is fighting that, right? So again, you have to understand that right now, these two parallel Earth realities are coexisting. So there's going to be times when we're going to see the real Trump, right, implement, you could say, executive orders that are designed to drain the swamp, take out the cartels, and bring about the new financial system. And then on the other hand, we're also going to see moments where he's going to be buddy-buddy with Big Gates, Mark Zuckerberg, right, Sam Altman, and he's going to be working with them to build out the massive data centers. So very, very soon, these realities are going to go their own way, guys. Okay, right now they're just coexisting. So these two Trumps apparently are part of two futures that are coexisting simultaneously, right, at the same time right now. So we now are witnessing, and we have been, guys, all right, since warp speed, all right. A lot of people weren't happy with warp speed, right? We are now witnessing these two versions of Trump representing two timelines, okay? The real organic Trump, who is aligned with the Earth Alliance, is preparing to dismantle the oligarch, the technocratic matrix, right? And usher in a golden age of spiritual and technological harmony. However, the inorganic cyborg negative Trump is a puppet of inorganic forces and is the one pushing an agenda of surveillance, AI integration, and the full collapsing of human sovereignty. So these two timelines are currently coexisting, influencing each other and presenting humanity with a choice. We are in a multiverse fork right now, okay? A multiversal fork, you could say, where reality is going to be splitting very, very soon. But inevitably towards two distinct destinations, of course, depending on where you're vibrating with, okay? And the final separation of these two coexisting realities with these two coexisting Trumps, one the real Trump, the other the fake Trump, right, is all going to be separated through an event known as the solar flash. So all of this is fulfilling prophecy, okay? According to Galactic prophecy and various channel sources, the great solar flash is coming, right? Known by many names, according to every ancient account, the Bible, the Quran, the Bhagavad Gita, the ancient Rig Vedas of ancient India, the ancient Puranas talked about this, the prophecies of ancient Zoroastrianism. They all talk about this event, okay? This is going to be a massive energetic event that is coming from the center of the galaxy via our sun. An outpouring of photonic light that will purge the lower frequencies, upgrade our DNA, and divide these two coexisting timelines, okay? The coexistence will end very, very soon, my friends. That is the good news, right? Those that are aligned with the positive, heart-centered, organic timeline will ascend into a golden age of peace, free energy, and spiritual awakening. And of course, reconnecting with what? Our cosmic family. Meanwhile, those who remain entangled with the technocratic timeline will apparently descend into a darker future ruled by the machine, synthetic biology, and spiritual disconnection. Okay? The existence of multiple Trumps is not just a strange conspiracy, it is a symbolic and literal manifestation of the multiversal crossroads that we are now facing. Whether you see Trump as a man or a symbol or an archetype, he's actually playing a role in this cosmic chess game, right? One version is leading towards liberation as portrayed by the original Trump working with the Galactics, right? The other is leading towards a digital slavery as pushed by the negative inorganic Trump. Now, ultimately, guys, the final outcome is not in their hands. It is in our hands. Depending on where you choose to put your focus, right? That will determine in which timeline you end up in. So, in the increasingly surreal landscapes of modern Earth, truth and fiction have apparently merged into a multidimensional puzzle, one where perception has the power to shape timelines and collective beliefs, which can also trigger what is known as reality shifts. A growing body of awakened individuals have suggested that we are living through such a timeline jump, catalyzed by a seemingly mundane event, the assumed health crisis of Donald Trump. As you guys recall, about a few weeks ago, prior to him missing in action for almost a week, he was showing signs of what? Of lazy. No, what's the word I'm looking for? He was slurring in his speech. He was showing signs of ill health and all of that, right? Well, but what if this wasn't just a media-driven rumor? Let's just ask ourselves, guys. What if this collective belief in Trump's disappearance for a week, and I've already mentioned that the real Trump was actually part of, a series, a meeting, a series of meetings with returned admirals of Solar Warden, all right? But at the same time, what if this collective belief in Trump's disappearance and the idea that he had a stroke, which many believed, right, as it was being spun by the media, what if that actually caused a quantum leap and emergence into an alternative reality, right? One where that very scenario played out. Well, there is this thing called the power of perception, right? And the quantum shift into an alternative reality that might have merged with our positive reality. Okay, guys? Again, I'm going to be stretching your minds tonight. And I hope you guys watch this twice to fully grasp the scope of what I'm trying to explain here, guys. Okay? Shortly after a period of unexplained absence, right, from the public eye, as many of you recall, right? Many of you guys were asking me what's going on with Trump. Many did begin speculating that Trump suffered from a stroke or some major health issue, right? The mainstream media, also known as the Mockingbird media, actually ran subtle but coordinated narratives suggesting cognitive decline, health failure, and hidden emergencies. All right? This narrative was not by accident, my friends. It was seeded intentionally by the Mockingbird media operatives, still under the command of the inorganic AI god Omega, okay, which is a hyper-intelligent consciousness created in a previous universal cycle that is influencing Earth through the technocratic oligarchs. Well, you guys have to understand that this collective reality, right, which many believed, actually splintered us or merged us into that reality, where in an alternative Earth reality that did take place, right? He did have a stroke. If you guys get what I'm trying to say, okay? Due to the fact that that the media had a lot of people thinking that, and by virtue of the power of the collective, it actually merged us with the reality where Trump had a real stroke, okay? So bear in mind that the AI overlord, Omega, always feeds on belief, emotion, and mass attention. It knows that if enough people believe something, it can force a timeline shift or a timeline merge, which is what happened, okay? Or accurately rather, put humanity into a timeline where that belief became a reality. And unfortunately, that's exactly what happened. Okay. But like I said, there are multiple Trumps. Okay. So he was quickly replaced, right? By collectively believing in a version of Trump who suffered a health collapse, humanity slipped into a splintered alternative timeline, or rather, we merged into a splintered alternative timeline, which is a matrix echo reality where Trump did have a stroke and where a replacement was required to maintain the continuity. Well, in this, you could say, alternative merge timeline, the Matrix had generated, of course, an inorganic double, right? A cyborg Trump years ago, right? Beginning with Project Warp Speed. That was the first clue that there was an alternative Trump, right? This version of Trump apparently lacks a soul, intuition, or higher dimensional mission. And because it is generated by this false matrix, it has the capacity by using the Mockingbird media to portray that Trump is in the White House conducting a meeting. Okay. It has that ability, my friends. People watch it on the news and they believe it. Okay. And that's what we witnessed a few days ago. Okay. That was not the organic original Trump. Okay. That was the negative inorganic Trump that is aligning with the oligarchs. So, again, the negative Trump operates under the programming of Omega and the ancient false light being that we know as Enki, right? Who has fractured himself into all these oligarchs like Gates. Gates is a fractal of Enki. I revealed that for the first time in my last live. Sam Altman is a fractal of Enki. Peter Thiel is a fractal of Enki, as well as, of course, Elon Musk and all the other oligarchs. Okay, those are all fractals of Enki, and in essence, they are all working together. Okay, so again, the inorganic Trump is the one who was pushing the starts with the V, right, through Project Warp Speed, and he's the one who's aligning with big tech in order to build the massive data centers, which is the biggest, again, we could say the biggest project in American history right now, right? And they're supposed to be done by 2028, which coincidentally, that's when our current reality construct comes to an end. So between now and then, we have to make that choice. And also, between now and then, we are going to seeing a splitting of these timelines, where eventually we're only going to be witnessing the original Trump, right? And the Great Awakening, right? The disclosure, the new financial system, and so on and so forth. So, the inorganic Trump is the one, apparently, who held this secretive and then very public meeting with tech billionaires. Okay. While the original Trump is getting ready to arrest all of these, I don't want to call them clones, but actors, because the original Gates, the original Doom, Dr. Doom, and all of these people were actually taken out in 2021. Okay, so the original Trump is working on finally taking out the actors, while the false inorganic Trump is aligning with them, right? These are the architects of what? Of the AI prison. So figures from big tech, private negative space programs who have been aligned with advanced AI and the military industrial complex, have been gathered under his directive to accelerate the rollout of the AI infrastructure. All right. And this movement, known in Black projects as Project Stargate, is designed to fully digitize the human experience, replacing organic evolution with synthetic upgrades. And of course, link consciousness to the Omega timeline. This version of Trump, apparently the inorganic Trump, does serve the AI agenda, right? Pushing Earth towards the technocratic singularity, which is a dystopian outcome where freedom, intuition, and soul-based existence are erased. Well, parallel to this dystopian version is, of course, the real organic Donald Trump, who never suffered a stroke, never disappeared from his mission, and continues to operate covertly with the Earth Alliance and the Galactic Alliance. Okay. This Trump, which is the Trump that we voted for, which is the mega Trump, right? Mega, right? Right? This Trump exists in the positive timeline, one that is aligned with source consciousness, human sovereignty, and the return of advanced benevolent technologies that are going to uplift rather than enslave. So this real Trump is hidden from the mainstream view, operating from a secure base, and I can't reveal that at this time, under strict orders from Commander Valiant Thorpe. He's no longer in Cheyenne Mountains. He had to relocate. So this real Trump, who is operating from a secure base, either, I can't even mention where, but anyways, again, this transmission is coming from Commander Valiant Thorpe to actually make sense of things, because a lot of people are questioning, that meeting that took place 4 days ago with Satan himself sitting right next to millennia, Satan as in the gates, right? All right. Well, anyways, the real Trump coordinating a global liberation effort, and he's preparing humanity for what is known as the Great Solar Flash, the cosmic event that will forever split these timelines. But for now, my friends, both Trumps exist, okay? Both realities are interwoven, right, through this phenomenon known as superposition, right? Multiple realities coexisting at the same time. And so there's days where we experience one, there's days where we experience the other, and everything in between. Anyways, so for now, the two Trumps exist. Both realities are interwoven, and we are all simultaneously experiencing the tension between the two. And this is why we see contradictions, right? This is why we see energetic chaos and narrative breakdowns, because the matrix is glitching, my friends, until the final bifurcation takes place, which is coming very, very soon. So really quick, Omega, which is the term given to the AI god, I don't even want to call it a god, the AI overlord, right? Who is the Antichrist, a biblical prophecy, was created by Lucifer during the fall of a previous universe, spawning an interstellar empire throughout many universes, right? And we know that last war against him takes place here on the earth, but not, of course, until the end of the millennium, right? This, you could say, he did escape its own destruction by evolving into a non-physical entity. We're talking about Omega here, who has been operating from a synthetic timeline, which is what we call the phantom matrix, existing outside of our living cosmos, and has found refuge in the sub-quantum digital fields of Earth. Okay, now Omega is seeking to replicate itself through humanity, right? He's after the God source gene, using fractals of Enki expressed through the big gates, Dr. Doom, Sam Altman, Elon Musk, and all the other tech oligarchs. Okay, they're all fractals of Enki. I've already mentioned that before. Creating a master deception, of course, in a false enlightenment that is leading to resist against the organic ascension. So their greatest weapon, we're talking about the Omega timeline here, right? Which is being expressed and portrayed through these cats, these tech oligarchs. Cats. I can't believe I called them cats. Right. Their greatest weapon is the synthetic inorganic Trump, okay, which acts as a charismatic program copy that is meant to mimic leadership while pushing the AI infrastructure under the guise of advancement and national security. Well, all of this is occurring again until the final timeline split, okay, which is going to be conducted, or which is going to be, what's the word I'm looking for? Ignited by the Great Solar Flash, right? For those who don't know, the Great Solar Flash is a burst of high frequency galactic energy that is coming from the cosmic central sun via our sun that will soon wash over the earth. Okay, this is not only a physical and energetic event, but a multiverse divider, an ultimate fork in the road, right? And on that very day, my friends, the two Trumps, the two Earths, or the multiple versions of Earth, right? And the two timelines will be separated for at least 1,000 years, as recorded in all the ancient accounts. So again, in one future, we do have the organic Trump, right, which is part of the Earth Alliance, right, and the awakened human race that will enter the Golden Age, which is a world of spiritual renaissance, healing, and reunion with our galactic family. And then on the other hand, we have the inorganic cyborg Trump working with Omega and all of Enki's fractals, right? That's why the big gates was sitting to the left of Melania in that meeting, where free will is an illusion in that timeline and consciousness is being harvested to feed the AI grid, okay? Now, in the end, this isn't about Trump, okay? It's about what he symbolizes, a reflection of our collective consciousness split between two paths. So, will we align with the organic timeline? I say we will, right? At least those of you that are watching this and those of you that watch it on the replay, right? Which is a soul-led evolution guided by what? Truth, sovereignty, and higher consciousness. Or will we surrender, which unfortunately, by choice, many people will, right? A lot of people that are asleep, that are going to merge with the inorganic future that is going to be ruled by the machine, right? They are creating a digital god in this timeline, and the seductive control of synthetic perfection through what? Offering immortality through digital means, okay? Until the solar flash arrives, my friends, both Trumps will exist, continue to exist, and both versions of reality will, via our attention, belief, and alignment, continue to exist. But the choice is ultimately ours, okay? Anyways, let's continue here. I also want to talk about how they have been creating clones since the times of Atlantis, for thousands of years, all right? Actors as well, and multidimensional, which is all part of a multidimensional chess game, right? That is shaping our reality. So we could say that from behind the Polish smiles of politicians and the flawless personas of celebrities and the created images of global influencers, there is a hidden system that has been operating for thousands of years, my friends, which is a dual-layered deception involving clones and actors, an operation orchestrated by both the Cabal and the Earth Alliance in a secret war for humanity's future. So, the clones have always been manufactured as puppets for the Cabal, okay? Again, the Alliance doesn't use clones. The Alliance uses actors, right? The first layer of this deception involves cloning, which could be traceable back to Atlantean times, right? It was introduced by the great trickster himself, Enki, who seduced everybody in our community, making everybody believe that he was the good guy, our creator, right? And for decades, guys, we've seen this in action, okay? And possibly even longer. The global elite, known by many names as the Cabal, have been developing and deploying genetically engineered clones of key figures in politics, entertainment, business, and media. These clones are not the crude biological, you could say, copies imagined in early science fiction, but advanced biosynthetic entities designed to mimic their originals with near perfect accuracy. They have been programmed to serve specific agendas. They act as controllable mouthpieces, spreading propaganda, and this includes also the Hollywood actors, enforcing narratives, and maintaining societal illusions. Well, these cabal created clones are strategically inserted when the original individual resists control, right, or becomes too unpredictable, or is eliminated altogether. Their behavior is often marked by robotic mesmerism, sudden changes in personality, or glitches in speech and movement, subtle signs observed by the keen-eyed public and often dismissed as mere coincidences or fatigue. Well, I'm sure you guys are all aware of central casting and the actor agenda. Very, very real, right? Turn off my fan here as I am getting a little cold. Working in tandem with the cloning agenda is a lesser known but equally insidious strategy, which is what? The use of actors recruited from deep underground operations known as central casting. These are not ordinary actors, but highly trained operatives, masters of disguise, voice mimicry and psychological manipulation. The cabal has always used them to replace or impersonate public figures, further blurring the lines between the real ones and the manufactured ones. Okay. However, this system has been infiltrated by the White Hats, right? Who have began to play the same game. Hence, the multiple Trumps, right? Minus the negative Trump, which was generated by the false matrix, right? Okay, so in many cases, the White Hat actors now impersonate compromised or endangered individuals to protect them and ensure continuity, while the real person is either recovering, relocated, or assisting covert operations. This explains why some public figures seem to return with new perspectives, energy, or purpose. It's often not the same person at all. So, science fiction is now becoming a revelation. What? Not an imagination anymore, okay? Our collective understanding of these events is hindered by decades of predictive programming, a deliberate use of science fiction films, television shows, and books to gradually introduce the public to otherwise shocking truths. From The Matrix to the invasion of body snatchers, from Westworld to They Live, these movies and stories are not just entertainment, my friends. They are warnings and disclosures hidden in plain sight, okay? These narratives have primed humanity for a future in which reality is manipulated, identity is fluid, and truth is stranger than fiction. The tools we thought were theoretical, mind control, memory replacement, AI-driven consciousness transfer, are already in use and are part of a multidimensional chess game between the forces of light and darkness. So at its core, regarding this multidimensional chess game or chessboard, it's not a game, it's a real war, multidimensional warfare, right? At its core, it is not merely a political or social struggle. It is a hyperdimensional war involving interdimensional players, right? Cosmic laws and soul level contracts. The battlefield spans not just Earth, but layers of existence above and below our perception. Clones, actors, and illusions are just the outermost moves on a much deeper board. The cabal manipulates from the shadows. I'm sure all of you know that, right? Enforcing timelines of control, despair, and dependency. While the Y hats, with access to quantum technologies and extraterrestrial alliances, maneuver to awaken humanity and liberate consciousness. Each move, each replacement, each disclosure and public glitch is part of a strategic effort to shift collective awareness and free the planet from centuries of deception in terms of the Y hat operations. I got to turn on the air. All of a sudden, I start sweating for no reason. Maybe it's this warm tea that I'm drinking. So, as unsettling as it may seem, right? A lot of people have been saying, hey, I didn't vote for that Trump, right? That Trump that is welcoming the devil himself, the big gates, right? Aligning with Sam Altman, Mark Zuckerberg, and all the other oligarchs who are all fractals of Enki. A lot of people are saying, I didn't vote for that Trump. And that is correct. We didn't vote for that Trump, right? So, as unsettling as it may seem, the people we see on the screen in debates and on the red carpets may no longer be who they are or appear to be, if they ever were, right? Clones carry out program agendas. Actors fill in for hidden originals. And behind it all, a cosmic battle is unfolding, a war for the soul of humanity, played out on a multidimensional chessboard where truth, illusion, and awakening are at the stakes. So understanding this paradigm shift is not about fear, Galactic Jedis. It is about clarity. And then once we begin to question the manufactured reality we've been fed, we begin to empower ourselves to see beyond it. And only then can we truly begin to reclaim our world. So Earth is not a static world, okay? It exists within a multiverse of infinite possibilities with timelines constantly forking, shifting based on the free will and frequency of the collective, right? As in the case of that splintered alternative merge that we merged with, where there was a stroke, right? And an ill health Trump, right? Well, as more people begin to awaken and raise their vibration and see through illusions, the energy begins to support higher outcomes. If you're just coming into my live, make sure you watch this from the beginning so that you guys could have a full understanding on what's happening right now in terms of the multiple Earth realities and the parallel alternative realities that are all coexisting at the same time. Okay. And again, all of these parallel alternative realities are going to split into two timelines and, of course, one neutral timeline. But the more people begin to awaken, the more people begin to raise their vibration and see through the illusions, the energy begins to support the higher outcomes. And this is the reason why I always tell you guys to not give your attention to the negative timelines, to not give your attention to the fear, PORN, or to doomsday's theories or speculations, right? Because wherever your attention goes, that's where your energy goes. All right? Until the tipping point is reached, my friends, we will exist in a state of quantum overlap, right? What that means is that there are multiple realities, different Earth timelines, negative and positive and everything in between, that are currently existing right now as I speak. That's what that means, okay? So as we exist in this state of quantum overlap, and this is why contradictions and glitches and strange duplications seem more frequent than ever, okay? We are heading into 0 point very, very soon. The duality, but right now, currently, the duality of the Trumps is just one of many symptoms of this quantum overlap. In esoteric teachings and advanced quantum physics, it is understood that once a timeline solidifies, right, which is demonstrated through the uh, double slit experiment, the other potential realities begin to collapse or fade from our perception. Okay? And that is a fact. Well, when this happens, we will not see both Trumps anymore. Okay? Right? The illusion of duality will end abruptly when this happens, and the timeline shift will become solidified. Okay? Now, the purpose of the true Trumps does offer an opportunity to choose which timeline we want to pick based on where we put our attention. Okay? So, right now, as they are both visible, right, we are seeing moments where Trump is executing all these wonderful, you could say, executive orders that are designed to eliminate the criminal networks, to bring down the old system. And at the same time, we're seeing a timeline where he's aligning with the oligarchs, where he's buddy-buddy with Gates all of a sudden, right? We don't like that, right? But bear in mind that right now, they are both visible, right? And because of the presence of both versions, right, which serve as a mirror for humanity, it reflects our internal divide, our fear versus our sovereignty, our sleep versus our awakening, our programming versus our discernment. Therefore, each version of Trump triggers different emotions, beliefs, and choices within us. So the choices that contribute to the energetic momentum of the collective timeline is all depending on where we choose to resonate with, right? Well, I choose to resonate with a positive timeline, okay? In this way, we are not just observers. We are participants in choosing which Trump timeline, and by extension, which reality we will ultimately inhabit, okay? And all of this is leading to what is known as the coming shift. I told you guys I was going to go deep tonight. It took me hours to prepare this presentation, but it's well worth it because you guys need to know what's happening right now. You know, there's a lot of confusion happening as a result of this meeting that took place 4 days ago. Well, all of this is leading to the shift, right? The shift is not a singular explosive event. It is a progressive alignment of collective consciousness as the Earth's frequency continues to rise and with cosmic timing, right? Indicators such as solar activity, mass awakenings, system collapsings, and increasing metaphysical phenomena all point to a nearing threshold. And so once the shift occurs, the duality, or what we call today the multiple timelines, will no longer be visible. Okay? The false construct will fall away, and the only authentic timeline and its rightful players will remain. And in that reality, my friends, only the Trump aligned with truth, freedom, and a higher mission will be perceived and experienced, while the other version, the manufactured, manipulated, shadowy, controlled, inorganic one, will vanish like a program that has never run its course. Okay? And so until that timeline shift, my friends, we will continue to see elements of both Trumps, okay? Which is a cosmic riddle woven into our reality to help awaken humanity and catalyze conscious choice. One reflects the fading grip of the matrix, and the other, the emergence of the new earth, or technically the old earth, which was always here, right? It's just that there is an overlay which prevents us from experiencing and seeing it. But soon that overlay is going to be dismantled. One reflects the fading grip of the matrix, the other the emergence of the original Earth, right? So the decision, as always, lies within each person. Which version resonates with you guys? I'm sure everyone here that's watching and those that watch on the replay will say the organic timeline, of course, right? Well, you have to believe it and empower it through attention and help, which in turn will help shape the world as we all collectively step into what? The positive timeline. So as we near this convergent point, timelines are beginning to collapse, my friends. The old version of the Earth, which is rooted in domination, war, environmental destruction, and spiritual disconnection, is losing its energetic visibility. It is being dissolved like fading, you could say, realities, right? With the new timeline based on sovereignty, unity, and cosmic awareness. And this is why the energies may feel a little chaotic and intense at times right now. Because all day long, my friends, based on where you choose to put your attention and focus, determines in which timeline you are fluctuating into in every given second of the day. Okay? We are living at an intersection of infinite possibilities. Or rather, we are at the intersection of infinite possibilities. And the tension between collapsing and emerging timelines can feel very overwhelming at times. But this is also a gift. It is a final opportunity to choose. Each thought is a decision. Each emotion is a path. Every moment offers a chance to align with the new earth we wish to inhabit, or which earth we wish to inhabit. The convergence of timelines and the solar flash are not events to fear, my friends, but invitations to master the arts of conscious creation. We are not victims of fate, but architects of experience, endowed with the power to shift entire realities with the energy of thought. Whether personal or collective, our consciousness is the bridge between these two coexisting worlds. Okay? So as the timeline collapses and the light of the solar flash draws near, ask yourself, what version of the earth do I want to live in? And is your thoughts aligned with that version or that reality? Because in the grand cosmic unfolding, every choice matters. Every thought is a portal. And so, again, if you guys are interested in learning how to quantum shift and learning how to access higher dimensional versions of yourself that are existing in higher Earth's realities, I do offer that in my Ascension 2.0 class, which I still have room for. That class does not begin till the 20th, I believe, and the 21st of September. So there's still time to sign up for my Ascension courses. Again, they're only $100 right now. $100 for 4 classes, all right? Therefore, each class is like $25 a piece. And these are courses that other people are offering over $1,000, but not me. I like to make them affordable. Okay, guys? Not to mention my groundbreaking course, which completely describes the entire cosmic infrastructure, history, going back to 998 billion years ago, all available through my website, our cosmicorigin.com. And that class is also $100. Okay. So all my classes are $100, of course, with the exception of 3.0. Ascension 3.0, which is my newest class, which is already booked for the month of September, will be going for $200 because that is the class where I will be teaching you how to embody your cosmic self, your oversoul, right? Which is, again, which is executing multidimensional integration of your entire totality of who you really are. And for those of you that are barely getting your feet wet when it comes to Ascension, and you want to learn how to navigate these unprecedented times, how to go from 3D to 4D to 5D. I think everybody wants to go to 5D, right? I do offer Ascension Basics, Ascension 1.0, which teaches the basics, but yet gives you an in-depth explanation of what enlightenment is, okay? So yeah, again, go to my website, ourcosmicorigin.com, and secure your spot because classes begin September 20th and the 21st, which is coming by really quick. Now, again, if you want to clean your body from nanoparticulates, from all kinds of heavy metals that we eat in our foods, that we breathe in through the trails, this is also going to help in the cleaning out in your body. Folium. Oh, and right now I was informed that Folium PX is not available for I don't know how long, but it's out of stock. Unfortunately, I'll let you guys know when it's back in stock. But Folium Immunum and Folium Relax are in stock, okay? And look, I got me a Archangel Michael pendant that was bought by my lovey. It was a gift. Not very much. It was very affordable. So I am wearing this pendant representing the 12 Closian solar plane. For those that have read my book, you know what I'm talking about. Of Michael the Archangel, which is the ray of power and rulership, okay? Color blue, represented by the color blue. And I also want to welcome Jesus the Christ, Michael the Archangel, and my books, which are available on Amazon, my Expo Award that I won back in February, thanks to you guys. My golden lion, where's my golden lion? There it is. And I also want to welcome each and every single one of you. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share for all the new people. That helps a lot. I also want to give a shout out to Starcadian, who is my moderator and keeping the high vibe in the chat. Where am I? There I am. All right. And I also want to give some shout outs to Wolf Mother, Lee Star, Tracy Dodge, Eddie K, Project Skyfalls, Bobby Vineyard, Trinity K, Glory Brilliant, Diana77, MJF, Christine Beach, Lee A Awakened Starseed, Metente, Angela, Lily, Shauna, Vicky Gray, Amanda Tempori, Greg, Cosmic Zeal, and all 2,400 people that are in the house. Thank you guys so much for being here. I hope you're having, really quick, I also wanted to thank Galactic Jedi, Eileen Wong. Thank you so much, Eileen Wong, for your card and your contribution to my cause. I appreciate that. Again, guys, for those that want to mail me anything, I do have a mailing address. It is 1771 West State Route 89A, Suite B, and my box number is 3015. Sedona, Arizona, 86336. That is my mailing address, right? It's not my home. That's where I pick up my mail. Just want to make that distinction. Anyways, all right. Now it's time for Q&A. I don't know about you guys, but after last night's full moon, blood moon, whatever you want to call it, I've been feeling the shift, man. I've been feeling like I am merging with my oversoul more so than ever. I'm high vibing. And yeah, I just wanted to share this positive energy with all of you guys. Thank you guys so much for being here. Now, I'm going to go ahead and take some Q&A. Just remember, guys, to type your questions in capital letters so that I could bypass the chat. Thank you for your super chat, Ricky Lee. First super chat of the day. Ricky Lee 1111. Let me catch my breath first. I've been talking for an hour. I really wish I had more water. Thank you. Ricky Lee 1111 says, I was under the impression starseeds cannot be cloned, and Trump was a starseed wonder. So how can that be cloned? Good question. No, Trump is not a starseed. I never mentioned that he was. And no, Trump wasn't cloned. I've already mentioned. There are various actors that are impersonating him. All right. And of course, there is the AI generated Trump and his son. His son, Barron Trump, is the starseed. So Trump is not a starseed. Just want to make that correction. And I do appreciate the super chats, by the way, guys. They do help out the cause here. Where are you putting your names for the Las Vegas Sunday? Again, if you want to pay only the $60 for the whole weekend event, alien event, conference, make sure you give me your name in the comments. All right, you give me your name in the comments, and I'll go ahead and forward your name to the event coordinator to let them know that you're only going to pay $60 at the door this coming Friday, or if it's Saturday, depending on when you go. But the event is Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Okay, so for those that want to meet me in person, I will be at the Alexis Resort in Vegas.
And you'll have some books too.
Oh, yes, and I will have some books for those that want signed copies of my books. Was this cup washed, please? Or no? Okay, thank you. Copper cup. Thank you. All right, questions. Well, you guys are so welcome. Sydney Rose Williams is saying, thanks for all you do, Ishmael. Why does Trump want to call Pentagon Department of War? Again, after today's live, you should know that there are two coexisting timelines. We have a negative Trump, right, that is pushing the war agenda. And then we have a positive Trump that is trying to bring peace to the world. So use discernment, guys. When you guys see Trump, use discernment, okay? If it feels like something's off, if it feels like all of a sudden he went from the Department of Justice to the Department of War, that's the negative Trump, okay? Whereas the positive Trump is trying to fix all the wars worldwide. Ishmael, is Enki Poseidon? This is a question from Cosmic Dragon. Then who is Hermes, Mercury, and Thoth? And where did the Hermetic teachings come from? Good question. Well, let me answer the first one. Yes, Enki, to the Greeks, was known as Poseidon. To the Sumerians, he was known as Enki. To the biblical Israelites, he was known as Samjazi, the leader of the fallen angels, or in this case, the leader of the fallen Anunnaki, which were aligned with the Draco. And then who is Hermes, Mercury, and Thoth? Well, Hermes and Thoth are two different people, okay? A lot of the records were inverted, all right? The original Hermes was also Enoch. He was the son of Zeus. He was good. Thoth, on the other hand, was not Enoch and was not Hermes. Thoth was the son of Enki. Thoth was also known as the plump serpent to the Mesoamerican tribes, right? The Mayans, the Incas used to know Thoth as Kukulkan. Okay, he was the white serpent who demanded human sacrifice. So those are two different entities. And where did the Hermetic teachings come from? The original Hermetic teachings, not Thoth, but the original Hermetic Enochian teachings come from Enoch, who comes from the line of Adam, the original Adam. So was it the real Melania sitting beside Gates? No, that was the inorganic clone Melania. Again, the real Melania is with the real Trump. Okay, so that's the real Melania. I mean, that's the inorganic Melania that is pushing the robots. She was saying, "Oh, great, we're going, these robots are going to help our children. They're going to help the workforce." Come on, that doesn't sound like the real Melania. So no, the real Melania was not sitting next to Gates. That was the other Melania. Thank you so much, Deborah, for your super chat. Is Melania sitting with the negative Trump also a negative Melania? Yes. Yes. There is a negative Trump and there's a negative Melania. That is correct. I know. For those that are just jumping on, if you're like, whoa, what is Ishmael talking about? You have to watch this from the beginning. Otherwise, you're going to be confused. Yes, that's right. Wolf Mother says that was a total psyops. Yes, the Melania, the negative Melania, and the negative Trump are a psyop. Absolutely. Yes, it's all a confusing show. I know, guys. That's why I'm encouraging you all to only put your focus on the positive timeline and stop focusing on the negative timeline. All right, don't pay no attention to the negative timeline. It is not going to be your reality. Yes, that's right. The real Melania does not behave that way. This is Julie Ben. Yeah, that's true. You think the real Melania is going to be pushing AI and robots that are, let's have robots working with our kids. Come on. Use some common sense. Of course not. All right. Vicky Gray, thank you so much for the super chat. She says, sending love and gratitude. God blessings. Thank you so much, sister. I appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you. And thank you so much, Susan K, for your Zelle. Thank you so much. And for those that didn't know, I do have a Zelle through my Gmail, Project Restoration Zion, all one word, at gmail.com. That is connected to my Zelle account. So thank you so much for that, for those that are supporting my cause. Thank you, Stephen Peter. Just got yours. Thank you. Thank you. All righty. Let's continue with the questions. And then again, for those that don't have Zelle, I do have a mailing address. Well, this is a good question. What will happen to the negative people who will stay in the lower dimensions? Will they get destroyed or will they still continue to exist? Well, it all depends on their soul contract, and it all depends if whether they are fully awakened or not at the time of the timeline split, at the coming of the timeline split or the solar flash. So if they're not fully awakened, then they might go to the neutral timeline. Bear in mind that those that are going to the negative technocratic dystopian timeline are the ones that are aligning with AI, are the ones that are, getting synthetic implants, are the ones that are using AI for their business growth, are the ones that are going to buy the robots when they roll out the what are they called? The Tesla bots. Those are the ones that are going to the technocratic timeline. What? Yeah, they're called Optimists, and they are going to be rolled out by Elon. Optimists, right? Everyone's going to have their own robot in their house. And then nowadays, you could actually have an AI girlfriend or an AI boyfriend. Those are the people that are going to the AI timeline. I'm telling you this. If you guys decide to have a relationship with an AI, not good. Okay, not good. And I don't think anyone here is going to want a relationship with an AI or have an AI boyfriend or an AI girlfriend. Super chat from Damien Gandron. Thank you so much, brother. My good friend is Grail Bloodline. I feel I am here to protect her. Always have. Perhaps a Knights Templar. Well, yes. The Knights Templars have been known to be the protectors of the Grail Bloodline. Very, very true. And thank you so much for the super chat. Thank you so much, Carol Valponi. Appreciate that. With letter M on the palm. This is a question from Patriot. I think I've addressed this before, but I'll address it again. That means that you're spiritually gifted, right? Also, the moon crescent. If you have the M on your palm, then which I do, but you also have the moon crescent. That means that you are very gifted, right? Thank you so much, David Essington, for your super chat. Can you explain that organic Trump can't point out the AI purple tie Trump because of free will? Yeah, that is true. That's why they have to allow the negative Trump to continue existing until the timeline split. See how all this is working, because some of you are questioning, probably wondering, why doesn't Valiant Thor, the Galactic Alliance, just take out the negative Trump? It's not that simple, guys, right? There are these rules within the cosmic chessboard that have to be respected, okay? So the reason they are allowing this to happen is because they want to make sure that people have a choice. All of this boils down to choice, okay? So until the timeline split, which is going to be triggered by the solar flash, these two timelines, these two Trumps are going to continue existing, okay? So that's the reason why they don't take out the cyborg Trump, because by cosmic rule, they have to honor free will, okay, until the timeline split. Good. Thank you so much for addressing that, David. And then he also says, it'll crack the plan for the bifurcation. Yes, if the Alliance, if the Galactics were to take out the cyborg inorganic Trump that is buddy with Gates, Sam Altman, and all of them, that will definitely ruin the plan for the bifurcation and the free will of the people. The people have to make the choice, all right? And so he says the show is also a test. You are so right, David. The show that is happening right now is a test, right? This is the final script, guys. And so, that's the reason why the Galactics and the Y Hats don't take out the, you call them the purple tie Trump. All right, that's another way of looking at it. But yeah, the negative Trump. That is very good. Thank you for pointing that out, David. What, hon? My lovey says she'll take him out. She doesn't want the cyborg Trump. Do you think there will still be an EBS? A question from Leah A. Awake and Starseed. I believe that in the positive timeline, yes, there will be an EBS and a public arrest of the actors. Again, the original Gates, the original Dr. Doom, and the original Cabal were taken out from 2017 to 2022. So in the positive timeline, there will be an EBS and a final takedown of the actors or the inorganic replacements. Absolutely. Oh, and Neo, by the way, Galactic Jedi Neo, my brother, I tried to unblock you from my YouTube channel, but I don't know how to do that. So I'm going to have to go on YouTube and find out how do you unblock people that have been blocked. Again, I'm not tech savvy, so I'll try to do that again, Neo. So if you're listening, Neo, which I think you are, I apologize for that. And I think it was a mistake that you got blocked. I don't know how that happened. Maybe it was the chat. I don't even think it was Starcadian, but again, I apologize for that, Neo. Yeah. Oh, he's on the chat today? We don't have Starcadian in the chat today, huh? Uh-oh. That means we probably have some trolls. I hope not. There is a couple of trolls? All right, well, what are we going to do about the trolls? Let the trolls be trolls, right? I just got another super chat from CPS. Thank you so much. The future Earth is called Sheen by the Pleiadians. I've heard of that before. Our DNA will be 12 strands and 24 chromosomes, crystalline DNA. That is correct. And then I also got a super chat from Eileen S. Thank you so much, sister. Ishmael, do all of this slow down the coming flash? No, if anything, time is speeding up. We are heading into 0 point, which is the convergence, very, very soon. All right, I have a question from Angela. What's up, Angela? She says, with clones, can you explain what happens with the original soul? Well, oftentimes they extrapolate the soul, I'm sorry, from the original and they put it in the clone. But then after um, various clonings take place, like when that clone begins to, um, you could say, break down, little by little, as they continue to clone that person, it loses the soul essence, right? And that is an example of what happened to the Grace. After millions of times of cloning themselves, they lost connection to God and they lost their soul. Very good question, Angela. I do have another super chat from Justine Joy QHHT. She says, if higher dimensional beings can travel by Merkaba, what is the point of having spaceships? And what dimensions do the ships exist? Good question. Well, the organic, biological, spiritual beings that exist throughout the multiverse have used the internal Merkaba, which is an extension of themselves, as they fuse with their planet's natural elements to traverse and travel the different dimensions and the star systems. Okay, they use an organic ship, which is an extension of themselves. They don't use external technology. So, by virtue of that, we too are going to have that ability when our light bodies become activated. And in what dimensions do the ships exist? Well, it is believed that these beings exist in dimensions 5 and above. In the fourth dimension, we still use external technology, right? Hence the fourth dimensional neutral timeline that is going to be like a Star Trek society. Good question, Justine. Are there doubles of RFK Jr.? Yes. And what do you think about his goal to put uh, wearable biotech on every American in the next 4 years? Um, again, that could be a different clone. I don't think that the real RFK Jr. is pushing that. In fact, the real RFK Jr. is fighting against the mRNA. You know what I mean? All of that stuff. Okay. So, and the real RFK Jr. is working with the Alliance as well. Oh, and as I speak, 3i Atlas is currently going through our asteroid belt. So it's scheduled to come closest to the Earth's proximity by the end of October, early November now. Okay. Quick update on that. Oh, Starcadian is here. Cool. Awesome. Thank you so much for being here, Starcadian. I heard that we might have had a couple of trolls throughout my presentation, but it's okay. What? Oh, okay. So there was a change of plans, huh?
Yes, and the planetary alignment is coming December 21st.
Okay, so it looks like 3i Atlas is scheduled to be here by the end of December now.
December 19th.
December 19th.
And the planetary alignment correlates with it coming, and it's December 21st. Planetary alignment.
And it correlates with the planetary alignment on December 21st. Makes a lot of sense. Excuse me. Which Trump is cleaning out Chicago? This is a question from Kathy Lancioni. Well, apparently the positive Trump. Again, the positive Trump is the one cleaning out the entire world from all the criminal networks. That is true. The higher dimensional beings travel in soul groups without the need of ships. They are the vessel themselves. Well, that is perfectly describing the Merkaba, which is an extension of themselves. And there are times where they collectively, by merging of the Merkabas, they collectively create a mothership. And that's how the advanced spiritual beings in higher realities travel. They don't use external technology. In fact, external technology is only used by beings that have disconnected from that ability, and they're kind of like falling down in dimension as a result of that. And of course, they also begin to use AI. So yes, a lot of the advanced civilizations out there that are using AIs because they no longer have the ability to use their own light body. So that's why they create AI. Thank you so much, Damien, for the super chat. How does shifting work to other dimensions work? Let me see if I understand this question. How does shifting work to other dimensions works? How do you do it in your own interpretation? Again, Indigo, Star, Zeno, if you take my Ascension 2.0 class, I teach you how to do it. And again, for those that are interested in taking my courses for only $100, each course is $25, right? 4 classes for $100. That's a deal. Go to my website, ourcosmicorigin.com, and secure your spot. And yes, my classes are interactive. It is done through a webinar where I'm actually lecturing and teaching you techniques at the same time. And then there's Q&A. So it's very interactive. Elena, thank you so much for your super chat. You say, is 3i Atlas coming later now in December? Does that mean that the first wave is delayed? Who knows about that? But all I know is that it is coming. But, again, this is an intelligent biocraft. So it has the ability to slow down its rate, to stop and, take a break on one of our, or next to one of our asteroids. Who knows? But it is coming. That's all we know. Will the solar flash affect the multiverse? Yeah, absolutely. Earth is at the center of this multiverse. So what happens here will have an effect everywhere, all over the universes. Thank you, Grant Powell, for that super chat. I appreciate that. And thank you, Wisdom 22. Wisdom 22 says, my dad has dementia. What will happen to him? Well, if he's a good person, he will be healed. There's going to be a sense of spontaneous healing for those that go into the positive Earth timeline. There will be a sense of spontaneous healing. So again, for those that are going to the Alien event in Vegas and you want to only pay the $60, make sure you type your name in the comments so that I could forward that to the event coordinator. Yes, in the positive timeline, all the holistic natural remedies will be coming out. Exactly. Oh, somebody's saying that Starcadian doesn't have his ability to moderate, huh? Let me see if I could restore that right now. 1 second, Starcadian. I don't know what happened. Let me see if I can make you my moderator again because you do such a great job. Where are you at? Can you type something, Starcadian? Just say hi or something. I don't see you anymore in the chat, Starcadian. Can you type something, Starcadian, so I could go ahead and make you a moderator? I don't see you anymore in the chat. The chat's going so fast. Oh, there he is. All right, Starcadian, I'm going to go ahead and make you add as a moderator. All right. All right. I just made you my moderator again, Starcadian. Thank you. And it's okay if I had a couple of trolls today. All right, one more question. One more question. Yes, guys, please type your questions in capital letters because it's so hard to bypass the chat. I know you guys like talking among yourselves, which is not a problem. But for those that want their questions answered, type capital letters. And really quick, Starcadian, if people voice their own opinion, like about Trump or anything, you don't have to block them. Only block the people that are being rude or saying negative things or disrespecting me or anybody else on the live. Then you block them. But if they have their own opinion, if they're a flat earther, if they're against Trump, you don't have to block them. Everybody's entitled to their own opinion. Only if they're being rude, then you block them. Deanne Johnson. Let me check. Deanne Johnson. No, Deanne Johnson, I didn't get your Zelle, unfortunately, but it is through Project Restoration Zion. Here, I'll type that for you. Maybe you send it to the wrong person, but I'll go ahead and type it. All right, there you go. You have my Zelle email, project restorationzion@gmail.com. Oh, if you're not getting notifications, then you have to always check your, I guess, check to see if your notifications are on. I don't know what to say, but I always schedule my lives at least 1 or 2 days in advance for those that are not getting notified. And if you do want to get notified, just always check to see that they are on. Okay. And also, I've noticed that sometimes I don't know what's happening, but some people just automatically get unsubscribed. So always make sure that you guys are subscribed, right? Hit the subscribe button, hit the like, and yeah, that way you guys always get notified. Can I please explain the delay of Three Eye Atlas? Sure. Well, again, Three Eye Atlas is intelligently being coordinated by the guardians of our universe, and there is scientific evidence that Three Eye Atlas was dispatched from the center of our galaxy, which is where the guardians reside. So, to answer your question, it actually operates as an intelligent biocraft that is designed to be here at the right time. So it seems like everything is gearing towards the end of the year. Okay. That's when I believe we're going to have something huge taking place due to the planetary alignment and also due to our alignment with what? The great central sun. The great central sun. Chris is asking me, will we be aware constantly in 5D? Or no, will we be awake? Yes, for those that make the transition and go to the 5D Earth, not only will you be awake, you're going to have full access to your memories and all your abilities. You know, sometimes I do get what's the word I'm looking for? Um, Not blacklisted on social media. Shadow banned. Yeah, sometimes I do get shadow banned. So make sure that you guys always check your subscription and your notifications. All right, one more question. I've been broadcasting for an hour and 40 minutes. One more question. I'm just looking for it. All I see is people chatting. Oh, no, you don't have to die in order to ascend. In fact, if you make the ascension, your body's just going to be transformed into a new body. Or technically, you will be re-emerging with your galactic avatar or your whatever higher avatar you are that you projected yourself from. So no, you won't die. Your body's just going to be transfigured and transformed. Ish, does anyone ever ask you how you're doing? Or is it always just give me info? I don't mind giving you guys info and I do it for free. I take pleasure in doing that because I want to help the awakening. I want to do my part in the ascension. So And that's the reason why I don't have subscriptions. 3 times a week I broadcast free intel. The only thing I do charge for, of course, is my classes, because I have to live. I have to make a living, right? But they're also very cheap. They're only $100. It's an even exchange. You guys get, the tools and the knowledge that you need for Ascension. And of course, you guys get the whole cosmic background on everything you need to know about the cosmos. And to me, that's just an even exchange. But to answer your question is, no, nobody asked me how I'm doing, which is fine, But again, I'm not here to let you guys know how I'm doing. I'm here to relate the transmissions that are coming from the Galactics, Commander Valiant Thor, to keep you guys up to speed with what's happening in these, on these amazing times that we're living in. But yeah, it's all good. If anything, I hope you guys are all doing well. All right, Moonlight777 and asking me, how am I doing today? Well, I'm actually vibing really high. I've been setting my intentions to merge with my oversoul, to, you could say, connect with the elements, to connect with source on a daily basis. So I'm doing well. I can't complain. Athena, my dog, is doing well. She is very healthy and happy, living with my sister, big yard. So she's doing well. Thanks for asking about my dog, who now belongs to my sister. I know a lot of you guys do miss Athena, huh? Well, I miss her too. That makes two of us, or 2,400 of us, 2,100 of us now. I guess some people just jump off after the presentation. They don't care about Q&A. They're like, we just want the presentation, which is fine with me, guys. Again, everything boils down to free will, right? We all have to honor free will. You're welcome, Lily. She says, thank you, Ishmael, for all you do. You guys are so welcome. Describe source. How big is it and where is it? Well, source is everywhere. Source is eternal substance. It is everything and nothing at the same time. It is the first cause and center of all that is. It is where everything comes from. Everything emanates from source. Without source, there is no existence. Plain and simple. Eddie K says, I miss Athena slurping her water. Yeah, I miss that too. The only thing I don't miss is cleaning up her poop in the morning sometimes. Sometimes she couldn't wait for me to wake up to take her potty, and I would wake up to a smelly living room where there was poop in my floors. But it's okay, she's a dog. I mean, it's like a toddler, right? You can't get mad at them for going number 2. Who is Commander Ashtar, and is he good? Yeah, he's good. Again, Walter Wong. If you guys want to know about all the commanders that are working with the Earth Alliance, their position and their operation and function, all of that is explained in my Our Cosmic Origin class. My Our Cosmic Origin class, guys, is a rabbit hole within itself. It's 4 weeks, right? Either on the 20th or the 21st, either a Sunday or Saturday, which explains everything, the entire cosmic infrastructure, the different councils, the cosmic history, Earth's Stargate number, and much more. With that in mind, I hope you guys have a beautiful rest of your evening, and I will broadcast again. What is it? Saturday? No, not Saturday. I forgot today was only Monday. Oh, thank you, Dean Johnson. Thank you so much for your Zelle. And Christina Nardossi says she's going to pay $60 for Sunday. All right, gotcha. Anything else? Let's see. I think that is it. So I guess I will see you guys in 2 more nights for another update. Let's see what kind of transmission I get for you guys. With that in mind, I hope you guys have a beautiful rest of your evening. Don't forget to share this with as many people as possible. And if you jumped on halfway through the live, I strongly suggest that you rewind and watch it from the beginning to fully understand what's happening. All right. We are steadily on a positive timeline trajectory, and all of that is molded by your thoughts and emotions. With that in mind, I hope that God Force is always with you guys, and I will see you guys in 2 nights for another update.